right off the rip, right off the rap, right off the rip, right off the rip, we got my man Edgar Berlanga. Did big things last night, man. If you guys listen, I don't know if you guys are listening or if anybody's keeping score at this point. Or if anybody's been riding, like I don't know who's riding with me, who's not, who the fuck is kind of like in for the long haul or not. Yeah, I get the feeling in the comment sections, but if you're still hanging around, I've been telling you these things. I told you this about Sergey Derevyanchenko. If you follow me on Twitter, I said it on Twitter the other day. It's looking like a double header, right? If it makes you feel better and it's official when Coppinger says it, fucking go that route, right? But you should feel. I mean, really, you should feel fortunate, blessed, right? 297 subscribers. You're part of an elite group of people. You're getting the fucking news. You don't even have to deal with these people on Twitter, right? I'm the guy out. I'm taking the trips. I'm talking to these people. I told you who the fuck it was gonna be. Told you it was Sergey. Jamel Rosario. I did not know that was gonna happen. I can't say I knew that was going to happen, but I did feel like we were going to get a twin brother Charlo pay-per-view. I did the numbers, right? So if I'm looking at it, I'm saying Jermal's going to get a pay-per-view with Sergey, but no pay-per-view for Jermel. And Jermel's the guy that's kind of been holding it down in terms, as Fox PBC, in terms of average viewership. Jermel's been putting up big numbers. Now, granted, that's, again, this is due to the storylines, due to the drama. Harrison, Charlo, 1, 2, Redemption, Coda. It's in between the Charlo series, if you will. Right? So he's been holding it down. So it made sense, man. A twin Charlo pay-per-view. We'll get into that, man. I don't wanna overlook Berlanga. Overlook his performance yesterday. I mean, look, let's not. It's such a fine line in this day of social media. You don't really know which way to go with it. It's like you don't want to get carried away with it. You don't want to start talking craziness. Like I think I was talking today when I asked David Benavides a question. I asked him something about Berlanga. I don't know. Somebody gave me some shit about that. But the point is that they are the same age. They are the same weight. I mean, Berlanga's 14-0. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that this kid, number one, is the real deal, and two, that this kid can if he is the real deal, that's not a fight that would be one that people would want to see. I would imagine they would. Puerto Rico-Mexico rivalry. Nonetheless, I'm talking. Berlanga did his thing. I don't know where the fuck I was going with that. Berlanga did his thing. Right? If you guys, again, if you're keeping score, I told you this. He was going to be. He's an essential key. Right? You gotta dump some. You got to give him a push. There is, I think people are sleeping, and they've been sleeping on the Puerto Rican fan base in boxing. It's. I think that you got your Mexican supporters, and you got your just recently you had a large Filipino contingency. I think that maybe some people started to lose sight that we had something going as far as a really strong and heavy Puerto Rican fan base in boxing that would put the money down and really support their fighters. Trinidad was in some big ones as recently. Cotto was in some big ones recently. As a matter of fact, a lot of the big ones that were that happened over the course of the past 20 years involved those two guys, man. So, it's just an easy fix. It's an easy transition, and if you push Berlanga, you know what's gonna happen. Nonetheless, I don't. I want to get back into. I want to show you guys. I'll post the full interview with David Benavidez. Um, when I get a chance. Actually, let me continue with Top Rank. I want to tell you some of the things that I did like that they did, or some of the things that just stood out to me. I think the Mike Plania performance to wrap up this summer, or I'm sorry, to start the summer. I'm just saying, and to wrap up the summer in total, and tell you what I liked. I think Plania's performance was I really want to see that guy fight again. I don't know what the deal is, who he signed with. I would hope that Top Rank could make that happen again. I'm interested in seeing how Josh Greer bounces back. I am again. I'm interested in seeing Berlanga fight again. I am shit. Michaela Meyer. You know, there was a lot. There was so many good things. You know, we know that Shakur is going to be coming back on ESPN at some point, and it looks like it's going to be a step up in competition the next time out. So there was a lot of good things that came from this. I know I'm missing something. Oh, Felix Verdejo, right? Felix Verdejo. This is a guy who had real superstar hype around him a few years ago, and you know, I won't say that the hype is the same at this point, but he's in the mentioning for some fights, man. If he can put together a nice another win, another real significant win, he can be right back in the mix, and I think that that's cool. I think that that's that's why we watch this sport. So nonetheless, let's I do want to show you this question that I asked David Benavidez. I want you to keep a few things in mind. One, it's the longest fucking question that you've ever heard anybody ask in your life. You've never seen anything. You have never seen anything like this, bro. I don't know what happened to me. Um, I used to be normal, man. I was a normal guy before this quarantine thing happened. I started talking to you guys. I did the Raheem and Michelle thing. I kind of liked it. I'm spending more time in the basement. Who the fuck knows what's going on down here? But the point is that your boy might be losing it a little bit. Might be going a little bit fucking kooky, really kooky. Because at this point, I don't even know where I was heading with this. But I also spent a lot of time, like, kind of diving into these numbers, right? Into the average rating numbers. I've spent a lot of time also asking the same question, right? Anytime if you've been following, if you've been rocking with me, I've been asking the same question a lot, and it's not for lack of trying. It's not because I'm lazy when I show up to these interviews, but it's because I'm trying to see if there's some kind of pattern. And I don't have enough data points right now to say that there is a pattern, but there's certainly something coincidental here, right? I asked two PBC fighters recently. It was Vito, and just today, David Benavidez, about taking a cut in pay. They say they never heard of it. They say that this is not happening at PBC. Um, I've asked quite a few other people from quite a few other promotional companies. I won't name names. You guys can do the research. And listen, I mean, even if I'm full of shit, there's enough out there. There's enough guys out there right now that are complaining about a dip in purse. I've yet to see this on PBC's end of things. And if that is the case, and I've yet to see this on PBC's end of things, then I have to assume that they are doing business differently over there. If the gate doesn't matter in the same way it does at these other places, and if the gate doesn't matter in the same way that it does with these other promoters, then why? Right? I mean, either PBC is going to be operating for a little bit at a loss, and they understand this and they're okay with this, or they're not, and other people aren't being completely honest, or I don't fucking know. But if you're being honest and you're really trying to do like some work in this boxing business, it's worth fucking finding out. Because I can tell you what, the guys that are carrying the banner for us in boxing, the guys that you would expect to be asking these questions, the guys that get paid and get flown in and get driven around and sit in fucking front row, press row, and fucking eat and all these things. These guys, they're not asking these questions and they don't fucking give a fuck. As a matter of fact, they'll mock you. if you talk about it too much, right? They'll call you fanagers, other media members, right? Because we're what, three fucking rows behind you. So I think it's worth asking the question. I'm going to play you just that question. If you want to see the entire, I won't say interview, but I asked Benavides a few questions, and again, I was a little long winded today, so you might get like a 5 minute video out of that. I'll upload that, but I'm only gonna play this one question for you because I think that it's again, I think it's a relevant subject, and I hope it's queued up at the right point. And here we are.
There's been a lot recently that's been being made of fighters' purses, and some fighters saying, "Listen, they understand the I guess the math behind it. Some fighters not so much. We've got promoters that are kind of pushing in the direction towards maybe paying fighters less. Is this something?" And in fairness, I've only got to ask one PBC fighter, and this PBC fighter is Vito Milnecki Jr. told me no, that he doesn't expect to see any cut in his purse. Are you expecting this? Have you heard any of this? And do you think, if you haven't, do you think that this is that fighters are right to feel that this is unfair?
Longest question ever. I apologize for that. All I asked him was, are you getting your purse cut? You know anybody getting your purse cut? You think it's fair other people getting their purse cut? I apologize for that fucking outburst. But this is the response.
I mean, definitely. When somebody gets their pay gets cut, it's some people always think it's not fair, but my contract has stayed the same. Everything in my, deal has stayed the same with this fight, the next fight. But if I have to take a pay cut, then I will take a pay cut. That's up to my managers and my promoters, and well, we could definitely come to an agreement. You know what I mean? But as of everything, I feel like my fights. I give the best fights I could possibly give. They're very exciting, for the fans, whether they're at home or they're live. So I feel like everything should stay the same with me. But if we had to come to an agreement, we could definitely come to an agreement.
So I mean, that's the response, right? Take it or leave it. I don't know. I'm sure it would be like, I'm sure that people would find a reason to tell me why people aren't allowed to speak out at PBC, even if that was the case. I feel like there's enough so I wouldn't be able to prove it, and it shouldn't be proof in and of itself. It's just two people, but it's a pattern. I'm going to continue to pursue it. I'm going to continue to ask. I'm going to continue to ask even if this fucking thing shuts down tomorrow, because I think it's worth asking. I think that I think that if I'm not asking, I'm not trying, right? I'm not even doing my job at that point. Nonetheless, shout out to Top Rank for getting it done, for actually doing it. I would imagine that PBC, just like Top Rank had a strategy, and the strategy probably was to hold back a little bit, enable and hold back on your roster a little bit so that when PBC gets up and running, you'll be able to run with them and be able to kind of put together cards like that. And don't get it twisted, man. Top Rank's got some guys there to where they'll be able to compete. Again, the numbers aren't looking pretty over there, and I won't lie to you. I don't think that they won't be beating PBC on Fox this year. I can kind of guarantee you that. But they've got some guys left in the tank. They've got some shows left in the tank, and who knows? I might be really, fucking talking out of school. They might be linking up with somebody else and whatever. Point being is that Showtime came through with some fire. PBC on Fox, I believe they still have some interesting fights over there. This is all good for boxing. This is a tremendous day for boxing news. We've got fucking a ton of fights to break down. We've got people now that we got to try to contact and interviews and so on and so forth. So, I mean, it's good. It's good for the fighters, and the fighters are getting paid. It's good for the media guys. We've got all types of stuff to talk about, and people got stuff to write about. And this is a step in the right direction. I'm also curious to know if there's any difference in regulations in terms of COVID and so on and so forth. But again, we'll do some digging this week. We'll ask some people some questions. I was just here to kind of give you the breakdown on the news, man. This was a quick one. This kind of popped up on us quick. And again, I just give you the news and really fucking tell you, hey, I told you so. Share these videos. Tell people, hey, this guy's always right every fucking time. Everything he does, he's right. He's right. He's right. He's the best. Right? Or leave. I don't care. No, don't leave. Don't leave. I don't want anybody else leaving. I love you guys. Bye.